The channels you're seeing on the screen right now, I all started growing them from zero, and now they're able to literally close leads while they sleep and add 30K per month without being cringe on YouTube. And trust me, I know you probably know nothing about YouTube or you're not getting views, but that's why in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can do the same thing, even if you're starting from completely scratch. You can see I started these channels at zero. This one has 2.3K subs. This one has nearly 5K. This one has 1.5K nearly. And no matter if you're getting tons of views or low views, YouTube is the most untapped lead generation method in 2025. And unless you like leaving money on the table, let's lock in and I'll show you how you can do the exact same. So what even is YouTube lead gen and how should you think about it? Because most people end up treating YouTube like IG or TikTok, and that's why you cannot collect any cash. And I'm going to cover more on that later. Actually break down the funnel, show you live examples of what we're doing with our clients, and so you can just see the exact process and actually implement it with your business ASAP. But first things first, why is YouTube actually better than IG and TikTok? Because of YouTube videos, you basically have a higher watch time compared to these platforms right here. And with more watch time, basically get more nurture. And obviously with more nurture, that leads to closing more leads. And like I said, you don't have to, do this YouTube thing, making cringe thumbnail faces or starting off your video of cringe energy. You're saying stuff you don't want to actually talk about. There's a way you can do it by becoming very sophisticated, being who you want on camera, bringing energy in a way that is normal to you. And you don't have to, treat your channel like some Logan Paul vlog. No, you can actually create every video and have every video sort of be like a mini video sales letter that is actually promoting your offer and actually enlightening the audience on what you offer. Because if you have something that is good, if you have a good offer, you should feel entitled to actually share that to people and help more people in the world. The one thing though is you definitely need a good offer, and preferably this should be a high ticket offer. YouTube can actually work for low ticket offers, but preferably if you have high ticket, that's the best bet. If you have a proper offer, it's high ticket and you guys are getting results, this is the best way you can actually go out and scale, even if you have a quote unquote micro personal channel. So if you don't have a good high ticket offer, you probably just want to click off this video, but let's get into the next step. And the reason why you can actually, listen to me is because I've actually done this before. I helped the growth partner add $115,000 in just 115 days through the YouTube sales funnel process. The proof is here. We didn't have crazy views either, but we were able to collect tons of cash. So everything that I'm explaining in this video is really live examples of how we're able to do that. And at the start, I literally showed you channels that I'm growing from scratch even. So this can be done if you have a big audience, if you have a small audience. All you need is a good offer, and if you're able to properly position your videos in front of who you want to sell to, this is very possible for you. So imagine you wake up, you check YouTube Studio, you're getting hella comments on your video, you can see it's getting some views, but then you check your Calendly and you're booking tons of calls and actually qualified calls that you can close. And this is what the 30K per month YouTube funnel actually looks like. There's business owners that are creating content on YouTube that are actually collecting cash. And on the other end, there's people that are creating all these videos, some of them even getting tons of views, but they're actually poor and there's no money coming into their bank because that's not they're not properly positioning their content. So I want to actually show you how this funnel works and breaking it down for you. So like step one shows here, you basically, you have a YouTube video that gets posted to the platform. From there, in that video, you're obviously giving value. If they receive value from that video, they can basically go to a page to make sure they are actually qualified. And, this is going to just ask them the proper questions. If they are qualified, obviously, then they're going to go to a sales call. And from there, they're obviously going to be closed. In the sense that they get value, but they're not, maybe ready for the offer they want to book, even if they are qualified. What you can do is you can have like something that's lower ticket or just have an opt-in where you can get their information to continuously follow up with them in the sales process. And if they get that proper opt-in and they're followed up and they keep watching more YouTube videos, because the nurture of YouTube continues to build up and stack up and continue to kind of snowball. So from that opt-in, they're already qualified. Then they're just going to go down the same process, go through the sales and actually be closed. And the close should be easier at that point because they will already be nurtured. I am going to break down the exact sales funnel and how I think about content. But first, I just want to touch on number 2 here, which is using lead magnets, free guides, audits, and case studies. So with the opt-in, you can definitely even leverage like the free guides, audits, case studies, etc. But you can also turn these things into video ideas. Like these things can be broken down into video ideas, and you can just explain your process around what you're actually doing so people can see live that your stuff works. So do not be afraid to do that. Once again, these can also be used for sales. For example, in my description, I have a document explaining how I added the growth partner 115K in 115 days. And that's kind of used as a lead magnet, but also to show my value to you. And then I also have videos breaking down that same transformation that I've posted onto YouTube in multiple different ways that's angled. And like I said, I'm going to visualize the funnel here soon, but let me talk about number 3, which is you basically want to direct people to your high or low ticket offer in a non-cringe way. And this is obviously done by having proper call to actions. And basically the way that you can have proper call to actions is tying your call to action back to what you're saying in the video and not feeling like you have to hard push with the CTA, just subtly mentioning it so people know that you do have an offer. But when you keep like constantly saying something and you're kind of like pushing it, you sound desperate, and you never want to sound desperate to who you're selling to. So that's another thing that I did want to mention with the CTAs. Now let's break down the actual funnel. So basically this is how your sales funnel is going to look. At the foundation, it basically comes down to having 3 types of content: top of funnel content, middle of funnel content, and bottom of funnel content. I've mentioned this in tons of videos, so if you want to go get more value, you can. I dive deeper into it. But essentially, top of funnel content is just going to be, more broad to business owners or just people in your niche. Middle of funnel is how-to explainer videos, more guide videos, like I just talked about there. And these are, targeting people in your niche, but it's not going to like the deepest point. And then bottom of funnel, this is like case study breakdowns. This can be basically niche deep insights. I'll put NDI. This can be interviews, etc. So just like things that are very specific to the person you're targeting. And to show you just live examples from these channels I showed from the start, this is John. He started from damn near 0 with us. He had 200 subscribers. Now he's over to nearly 1.5K. EC, he started literally at 0 subscribers. Now he has 2.3K. And this is Alex. We literally have a video that has 40K views. I'm just gonna give you live examples of what pieces of the funnel look like. So top of funnel content in the case for John's channel could be this video that we did right here: the new way to dropship as a TikTok shop seller in 2025. Dropshipping is a very broad term. Therefore, we have a higher TAM, total addressable market, and that video is going to be able to cover more people, which is why it has 4.1K views. And it's also, I think, one of the most popular videos on his channel that So we have this. We're actually going to make another free course, but this is a top of funnel video. Same thing with EC's channel. This video, the top of funnel could be like a my story video that we posted here. Middle of funnel could how I'd make 100K day trading if I had to start over. And then bottom of funnel obviously could be a video where he's live trading, like I make 100K using these simple trading strategies, or it could be an interview that we did, any of these interviews that work well. Alex channel, we had this trading free course, which a free course is a proven format that works a lot. I would consider it top of funnel, but it's also bottom of funnel depending on what you cover in the video. This one has 40K views. We literally started this channel from 0. A good bottom of funnel video could be watch me live trade. This is specifically showing how he's live trading to his audience, so it's very bottom funnel. And then a middle funnel could be how to video, once again, how to make $1,000 a day with meme coins. And this channel's printing. All these channels are printing, and that's because we know how to position our content properly. Thing is, you can't just upload random content and expect to win on YouTube. You actually need to be very logical of how you think about things. And I like to think of content from a psychological standpoint, and I'm going to break down the strategy that I actually use to come up with ideas and you can use as well. Because a lot of people either make their content way too educational, or people can feel like you're too salesy. So you have to find the right mix of actually having this personal brand feel where people rock with your content because of you, but then they also come for the value. So I'm going to break down actually how I think about this and how I execute. Content ideation for me can really come down to 3 ways. I feel like the first way is breaking down who your ICP is and then reverse engineering around that. The second way is looking at sales objections that you get and, also reverse engineering those into YouTube videos. Alongside sales objections, you can just break down like FAQs as well. And then the third way to me is outlier research and seeing what videos are performing in your niche, in adjacent niche, or just broader YouTube, and seeing how you can bring them back to whatever niche you're in. So those are like my 3 content frameworks that work. We can touch deeper on them. And the main thing is, how can you not, rotate these weekly and not become, I guess, redundant with your content. And it really just comes to having a good flow of, like I mentioned above, like having top of funnel content, middle of funnel content, bottom of funnel content. If you can keep those within a consistent flow, you shouldn't be redundant on your channel. And that's how I personally rotate it. But another thing is, do not feel like bad for repeating the same things in your content over and over. If you look at the biggest personal brands out there, the reason why people are like so attracted to their personal brands is because they say the same things over and over again and they resonate with those things. If you look at Gary Vee, if you look at Luke Belmar, Alex Hermosi, these guys are saying the same thing over and over again. But as a viewer, you start to pick up on what they say, and it kind of becomes embedded into your own mind. So do not feel like bad for saying the same things over. But a thing that you can do is change up the angle on your videos or how you say these things, and also tapping into your competitive edge and allowing that to bleed through your content, so you can, be different, but having your own lane and just saying what you actually want to say. Don't shy away from, talking about what has worked for you and the things that you believe in. Consistently mention those things over and over, and then just find ways to put a spin on it. For reverse engineering your ideal customer profile insights, literally you can just use ChatGPT. You can literally just use ChatGPT AI, and you can literally just use AI, tap into ChatGPT, and literally find out all those things. Ask it to reverse engineer who your ideal customer profile is, and then you can ask it to reverse engineer outlier or proven video formats around that. You're going to get tons of ideas. Once again, there's other ways you can actually do this. For sales objections and FAQs, this is really just tapping into, your audience feedback. I'm just going to call it AF here. Tapping into that and being able to see, okay, how can I, angle, maybe you're getting tons of DMs or you're getting tons of comments in your post. How can you angle those into video ideas? Or maybe you're getting insights from your students or your clients. What are their pains and desires? How can you angle those into video ideas? So that's really how I do it with the sales objections and FAQs. And then with outlier research, it's really about going on YouTube. I can pull up YouTube here. And when you're on YouTube, leveraging a tool called vidIQ. And with vidIQ, you can see by these videos, you can see little outlier boxes. This one's a 3.4x outlier. And essentially what you want to look for when looking for outliers, I'll give you guys a little tip, is you basically want to look for a 1-to-10 ratio when it comes to the subscriber count to the views. So if the views is 10x the person's subscriber count, that's how you can tell it's a really solid outlier. This one's an 8.5x. And if you can find a title structure of a video, like this one's in 100x, how I made 33K profit in a week while on vacation. So for this one, for example, for my niche, I could do how I made $33,000 profit in a week with a micro niche YouTube channel. So that's how I can tap into this title format that's an outlier and has worked for her, then just bring it to my niche. And with content, you do not necessarily need to post 5 times a week, especially with YouTube. And there are ways you can actually leverage your YouTube content to get more out of it by actually repurposing a short form or utilizing it with your new email newsletter and many tons of ways, even using it in your sales process. I want to talk about that, but I also want to talk about how you can not get burned out by posting content. I know as a business owner myself, I'm hella busy, so I don't have time to create 5 YouTube videos per week, but I can go ahead and create 2 to 3 raw videos, maybe one specific video that's more thought out. But I just want to cover it and break it down for you. So first things first, right now in this economy, repurposing is becoming so huge. And you can actually repurpose your long form content into IG or TikTok content and just have those, you can rip it, and that way you're getting the most leverage out of your content. It's extremely smart. It's hot right now as well, so I wouldn't fear tapping away from it. Me personally, I'm not doing it right now, but I know people that are and that are tapping into it. Right now, my main focus is just YouTube and continue doing marketing the way I am, but it definitely works. And then I know it can kind of suck to feel okay, I created this banger video and then it only goes and gets 100 views. And that's not necessarily a problem with YouTube. Like I said, you don't need tons of views or subscribers. If you can actually do it says here, leverage your titles and thumbnails as kind of these direct response headlines and really just target your ICP, that's going to be the best way that you can actually turn your content into cash in 2025. And then last but not least, do not be afraid to actually show your humor, your personality with your brand, because that's what people are there for. You kind of want to humanize your brand. Besides it being obviously a channel where you want to make ROI, you want to generate cash, you do not want it to feel like a job. You want your personality to actually bleed through the content, like I said, so people can actually rock with you for who you are. So that's another thing that I wanted to mention. These things are going to help you not burn out, and also just leverage your YouTube content to the max potential. You can utilize it on your email newsletter, Twitter, LinkedIn. You can use it in your sales process, pre-call material. Send it to people. YouTube is so untapped, and I hope you definitely take advantage of everything I said in this video. If you enjoyed all that access, you subscribe and go watch other videos for more value. Other than that, if you're interested in working with CCM, click the first link down below to book a call. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.